AskReddi by Sexada. American Redditors, would you support or oppose removing "In God We Trust" from all US currency? Why or why not? We should go back to E pluribus unum. The only reason for the current money motto is because it was a good way to fearmonger about Reds under the bed back in the 50s. E pluribus unum is still on our money. It never went away. You know, of all of the issues I care about in the USA ATM, this is somewhere between I don't give a fuck and I really couldn't care less. Edit. It's never the comments that I think are going to blow up that do. So thank you for all the upvotes. Take care everyone. Same here. My first thought was I couldn't care less. I look at the number to know how many green pieces of paper to give the person on the other side of the counter. The rest I don't even look at. Plus, how often am I actually carrying cash anymore? It's kinda like being able to see our own nose but we just ignore it. I don't remember a time I've ever pulled out a dollar bill and gone, oh hey, what's that religious statement doing there? It's so irrelevant and there are much more important things going on that should be tackled first. Do you actually think anyone on Reddit would actually comment no? This is a layup question, browski. I did, and I'm 100% sure I'm going to get downvoted out of oblivion. Although, I would also accept the original motto. It's in Latin, but it's like, out of many, one. Which is pretty rad. But that's just me. Personally, I think we have bigger fish to fry. Frying different fish simultaneously is allowed. For all those saying this is small fish, I disagree that the Christian stranglehold on American government is small fish. We should get back to our E pluribus unum roots. FFRF has great stickers and decals for this. Oh geez, I wonder what Reddit of all places will answer. Surely I'll be surprised by the answer. I absolutely support it. This isn't a theocracy. There's no national religion and there should absolutely not be one. Religion has no place in the government, which exists for all people, not for one religious group, and money is part of the government. And a lot of people don't realize that it wasn't always there. It was added in the 1950s. I'm an atheist and I fully support separation of state and church, but removing "In God We Trust" would be the last of my priorities, to be honest. Also, it sounds kinda badass, although I'm not admitting this to any religious person I know. It sounds like the word YOLO is supposed to go after it. WTHs with all these trahead polarizing posts. America bad, Jim updates, that's why. Easy karma whoring for a useless statistic on this site. It shouldn't be on there, but it's not a priority. If you want to focus on religion sticking its nose in politics, focus on state laws enforcing religiously motivated bans. I want it gone. It was added in the 50s as a misguided anti-communist virtue signal and it's an implied endorsement of religion. Actually, from 1864 to 1930s "In God We Trust" was being added to coins. 2-cent piece was first. However, in 1955 Eisenhower signed a bill mandating all US currency to have it. Throughout the decades each denomination it was added to coincided with the religious right having power. 1955 bill was the final act. Pledge of Allegiance, oaths for office and oaths in courtrooms, all changed because of the religious right in power, as well. Yes, and we should remove all ceremonial deism along with it. Or I like the weird and vaguely threatening pyramid thing. Stop spending money on stupid stuff like this and lower my taxes, please. I don't care what it says on the money, I just need it to go further. There is no party in the USA that wants to lower your taxes. Yes. There's supposed to be a separation of church and state. If it were in Allah We Trust, people would riot. Considering Allah literally translates to God. Should have never been there in the first place. Remove from currency, courtrooms, law enforcement vehicles, and any other government-related place or object. Edit corrected phrasing. And anything like praying and basically forcing public participation just because you're a part of the group that's meeting. I legitimately couldn't care less. I forget it is even on stuff. Non-issue. Seriously, who pays any more attention to money than the number in the corners? Yes, freedom of religion including freedom from religion. I just want healthcare and to not get shot again. Yes, as it isn't the original motto. E pluribus unum, out of many, one is so much better. Support, but it'll never happen because the religious people get their panties in a bunch about it. I wouldn't care either way. I'm an atheist, but the US has no national religion. It's land of the free, so, if anything, that should be on there. It's land of the free, but the R is silent. It has no business being there, tbh. Yes. Remove under God from the pledge while you're at it. You can have whatever religious beliefs you want, but they have no place in government. One nation, under the almighty dollar, easily divisible, with liberty and justice, tell who can afford it. Yes, and get rid of pennies too. It was placed there to separate America from the godless commies. America was founded as a non-theocratic nation. Where do I sign? I support it if OP is personally paying for this. Oppose. There's nothing wrong with it. Well, it has only been on money since the 50s, and considering how this isn't a Christian nation, which is a fact, not an opinion, and it was mostly done for bullshit Red Scare feel-good propaganda reasons. All that considered, I would certainly encourage it to be removed. But it won't happen, and there are definitely bigger issues in the country currently. It should absolutely be replaced with E pluribus unum, which was the official motto until the 50s, when the religious right decided to try take over the country and really draw a hard line against the Soviet Union on the basis of our religiosity. Strike that shit and let's go back to the original. I'd rather see E pluribus unum out of many. 1. It's already on our Great Seal and reminds us that the United States is built on the contributions of many different people working toward a common goal. Remove it. It was adopted by the US Congress in 1956, replacing E pluribus unum, out of many. 1. Which had been the de facto motto since the initial design of the Great Seal of the United States. No, but only because of how expensive it would be to pull every currently existing dollar bill and coin from circulation. I'd support not including it on new currency so it's eventually phased out, though. Why would we need to pull the current ones out of circulation? Just don't include it the next time we update the bill's design and let them naturally fall out of circulation. I'm an atheist and I don't give two fucks about it. I'm a Christian and I don't either. Personally, I'd like to see E pluribus unum take its rightful place as the US motto and thus replacing God we trust. It's a better fit for what the US is, or perhaps, what it aspires to be, and it brings our currency in line with our seal. I also don't think it's appropriate for an explicitly secular nation to have a religious motto. It should not be on anything until it can be proven 100% either way if God exists. Religion and politics should never mingle. And national currency is part of politics. I support removing it. I wouldn't do a recall of old cash and coin. I would prefer to phase it out completely. They can do a different state motto every year or something while the old currency ages out. In principle, yes, I approve of removing it. I'm a full believer in the separation of church and state, and nothing recognizes the breaking of the constitutional ban on the establishment of a national religion like the pledge and our money referencing God, and you know they mean the Christian God. However, At the end of the day, I'd rather expend any political capital I have on more important issues rather than largely meaningless social issues like this. I don't care either way. Separation of church and state should be a reality. It's just words. Compared to the rest of the stuff going on, it's harmless. Choose your battles. Replace it with financial struggles are temporary, but Wu-Tang is forever. Support. Low priority, but major power move. It wasn't there to begin with, and it was arguably the start of the Republicans' white Christian nation movement alongside adding under God to the pledge, so I'm all for punting it. I would support removing it, in the interest of separation of church and state, even though I personally like it. Absolutely. I don't trust that fucker. Imaginary people don't deserve a shout out on our money. Unless the new $20 gets for Frodo on it instead. You mean put it back to the way it was before the 1950s? Sure, I don't mind at all. Can we put the Pledge of Allegiance back to the way it was too? I'm not an American, but how is it possible to remove "In God We Trust" from all US currency? That's impossible. It's only possible to remove it from future currency. I am a Christian, so in God I do trust, but not everyone in America trusts God anymore, so having it as a sort of slogan for America seems kind of like a lie. So I guess I would be indifferent about removing it, but probably support it.